Hi everyone, hope you guys are all doing well. Just wanted to do a coin roll hunting question and answer. Basically, because you guys have me really motivated after all the thumbs up and comments that you left on our last nickel coin roll hunting video. That was great to see. I'm really happy that you guys are excited that we're back into coin roll hunting. My brother and I, we kind of forgot exactly how popular coin roll hunting was on the channel. Seeing how that was, what we got started in and is really the majority of videos that we put out. So we do get a lot of questions every now and again, and what I usually do is just reply to them in the comment section or through private message. And I did answer all these questions in the comment section, but I just thought that I would go through and grab some of the ones that a lot of people might have, some of the more general questions. And I just thought that I would start with this first question here. It says, where do you get the boxes of pennies from for coin roll hunting? And that's a really good question, just because I think a lot of people who view coin roll hunting from afar, they're not really sure how we acquire so many pennies to be able to go through them. And of course, too, unfortunately, since February, pennies up here in Canada have been terminated. But nonetheless, it still applies to the States, and also to, as I just mentioned, we can still get Canadian nickels. So, where do we get the coins for coin roll hunting? Well, the simple answer is we just call the bank and go there and get them. There's really no trick to it. Actually, the first time that I tried to get pennies from the bank, I pretty much just called. I didn't even know at the time that $25 boxes existed. And I just asked them if I could get pennies, and they had just replied if I wanted a $25 box. So when they asked me that, I just said sure. But what you want to do is what my brother and I usually do is we call ahead. We like to just make sure that they know that we're coming and that when we do go that they'll have some boxes there for us. We have just walked in and randomly asked if we could have some boxes. Those times, they're kind of a little bit more annoyed just because you're walking in off the street and having them do more work. So if we call ahead, we kind of feel like we just get a better reply from them that way. Also, too, what some people do, I see them commenting in some of the videos that they go to things like gas stations or grocery stores and just going in there and asking them if they can have some pennies or nickels to coin roll hunt. We never do that. We don't usually hit up the grocery stores or gas stations, things like that. But it's probably not a bad idea because I have seen it work from time to time. And especially if you're up here in Canada, you never know if you go there and ask if they have any rolls of pennies. You just might luck out that way. So again, good question. Let's look at question number 2. Alright, the next two questions are very similar, so I'll just do them together. The first part asks, so no more coin roll hunting pennies, you guys. And in a similar vein, somebody asks, I'm in Canada too, are you still able to get pennies? I love coin roll hunting pennies for copper cents. However, since they were removed, I haven't tried hitting the banks. Can they, and are they allowed to sell them to you anymore? So, from the experiences that my brother and I have had, they can still sell them to you. However, we've been extremely unlucky and haven't been able to find a bank that would sell them to us. We have gone in a number of times to the banks that we usually picked pennies up at, and every time we asked for a box, we've been unsuccessful. So, I think in the first question, are we going to try to keep getting pennies? I think for now, we're going to commit to just doing nickels and focus on using some of the money that we've been using for penny coin roll hunting, just putting that into silver. However, though, there are still channels out there who are getting pennies from the banks. I know that Lone Axiom, I'll put a link in the description below, but Lone Axiom has still been able to get pennies, and he always shows the results of his coin roll hunting on his channel. So go there and check those out and just kind of ask him what he does, what his secret is. But also too, I forget who had mentioned it in the comment section of one of our videos, but they mentioned that when they go into the banks and ask them for smaller quantities of pennies that they've been more willing to give them up, which I think is a really good point. Whenever my brother and I go in, we usually ask for a full box, which, they might be a little bit more hesitant to give if we were to just ask for a couple rolls here and there. And as a matter of fact, I do think that Lone Axiom too, I don't think he gets full boxes of pennies. I think he gets a couple of rolls when he gets in. So it might just be a situation where you need to just test out your banks. I would go ahead and ask them. It doesn't hurt to ask. However, from the experience of my brother and I, it's might be a little bit tough to get some pennies these days. And our final question comes from an American who was looking through a few rolls of nickels, and they ended up finding a 1975 Canadian nickel, and they want to know if this nickel is silver. Unfortunately, it's not silver. However, it is a 99.9% nickel, which means that its melt value is more than its face value right now, with the potential to go significantly higher in my opinion. However, this question is important, not just in regards to whether this particular nickel is silver nickel, but also too, we do have to remember that although I do make general reference to pre-1982 nickels, there are some years that I want to point out that we should be mindful of because they aren't in actuality 99.9% nickel. If we just look at this Wikipedia page here, the nickels between 1951 and 1954, those were chrome-plated steel. Same with the 1944 and 45 nickels. And then between 1942 and 43, those were actually the majority of copper as well as some zinc. And it's not until 1921 where we can start actually getting into some silver nickels. So unfortunately, that 1975 Canadian nickel isn't silver. However, too, that question was good for also bringing up the fact that we should be mindful that some of the pre-1982 Canadian nickels aren't actually 99.9% nickel as well. We should also keep that in mind. So those are the questions in this first Q&A. If you guys want to just leave your comments below, we'd greatly appreciate that. That's one of the reasons too why I wanted to do a pure Q&A video. Sometimes some of the questions aren't seen by everybody who watches the videos, and then this way not only can I give my answers to the questions, but I think that myself and also the person asking the question would definitely appreciate hearing from everybody. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Also too, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, my brother and I also greatly appreciate that too. But that's it for now, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this first coin roll hunting Q&A, and guys, I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you next video. Bye for now.